Modern video games tend to fall into two categories. The first are for narrative story-driven games, which are generally happy to guide the player by the hand, giving you the freedom to approach the experience with various small modifiers to make sure that you see the end credits. The other is a hark back to old school gaming, when games were way less popular and focused almost entirely on the reward of completion itself. Born out of the arcades and the idea of making something super challenging to elongate runtime so you felt as though you got your money's worth, these games personify the philosophy of tough but fair. Only in reality they were anything but, punishing players and requiring lots of time, patience, and straight up luck to get through. There is rarely a happy medium between the two. It's either embark on a profound allegorical journey or be mercilessly beaten by overpowered swarms of enemies a few hundred times over until you turn the tables and finally feel some satisfaction. Whilst the idea of brutally hard, cheap titles tends to be associated with the past, there are many modern games that had levels so difficult you had to walk away for a moment or that console is going straight out the window. I'm Scott from WhatCulture.com and these are 9 recent video game levels that made you rage quit.
Hello YouTube, we're turning things up to 11 with the launch of WhatCulture Music.
It's our brand new channel featuring all those lists you just can't get enough of, including creepy hidden messages in your favourite pop songs,
as well as radio-friendly songs that detail literal murder. That's as well as chatty faces where we get personal with you on our sordid musical tastes, in-depth discussion podcasts, and we're even doing quality fun stuff like tournaments and quizzes too.
There's going to be something for everybody, so come on over and make some sweet music with us.
Or just watch the videos, that works too.
Like, share and subscribe at the link below and we will see you there.
Bye.
Number 9, Days Gone, the SAWMILL Horde. This mission asks main man Deacon St. John, great name, to wipe out a horde of freakers at a sawmill. The term horde is no exaggeration either, with over 500 of them waiting to take a bite out of you should you do anything wrong. Once the freakers sense that you're in the area, they'll pursue you with a rage and persistence not often seen in a video game. The sheer number of creatures coming at you is intimidating enough, and you'll be literally swarmed with nowhere to go if anything goes sideways. The sawmill then is a surprisingly labyrinthine building, meaning it's quite easy to run yourself into a dead end. There are objects you can pull down and shoot to thin some numbers, but being on the run, a wobbly camera can make all of this extremely difficult. Preparation before the battle is key, but you'll still find yourself struggling just from the sheer amount of enemies you have to consider. Although this is arguably the best level in the game, it comes near the end of a very long and bloated campaign, meaning your patience for Days Gone has probably worn thin anyway. Overall, the fighting is so intense, the struggle for survival so desperate, any failure feels 100 times worse. Number 8, Crash Bandicoot N. Sane Trilogy, The High Road. Yes, this originally appeared back in 1996, but with Vicarious Vision smoothing over each level's originally blocky wireframe meshes underneath the environment, this revamped version of the High Road is slippier than ever. While Crash's sequels catered to a younger, more casual audience, the original was focused on elements of classic platforming, with the High Road level in particular encapsulating all of this. This is a pure memory and reflex testing gauntlet. You need to know exactly where Crash is going to land, exactly how much propulsion you'll get from multiple jumps in a row, and how to second guess the game's physics so that you land exactly in the middle of a piece of wood rather than sliding off the side. Unsurprisingly, using a string of turtles as trampolines doesn't work out too well either, and this level ends with one of the most precise sequences of jumps and bounces in all of Crash's history. Many will say this is platforming at its finest, but it's also at its most frustrating. Number 7, The Last of Us, Lakeside Resort on grounded difficulty. On harder difficulties, Last of Us's Lakeside Resort really comes into its own. As Ellie, you're teaming up with fellow survivor David in order to get supplies for a critically injured Joel. After fending off hordes of infected in a cabin, your journey with David will eventually take you to a large open room. Given little time to prepare, Ellie and David must now face off against seemingly unending waves of enemies. Though it's easy enough on normal difficulties, crank this up to grounded and it's nigh on impossible. The runners are fairly easy to dispatch unless you run into a group of them. Clickers, however, will kill you instantly. However, unlike in previous sections of the game, they know that you're there and they're very pissed off indeed. Although the AI is some of the best in modern gaming, it also feels like David leaves all of the killing up to you. By the time the big bad bloater arrives, the player is likely low on health and ammo in a game that is very reluctant to give you much of either. For the most part, The Last of Us is focused on the strength of its narrative, which makes the difficulty of this level and Ellie's side of the story one hell of a shock to the system. Number 6, the HIRATA Estate, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. You can kinda insert your own brutally hard Sekiro section of choice here because everyone tends to have their own breaking point. My original one was against that damn chained ogre when I played before launch, but that slowly transitioned to losing my sanity against Juzuo the Drunkard inside the HIRATA estate. We're not talking about main bosses though, we're talking levels, and the HIRATA estate has it all. Oversized chip damaging roosters that jump at you while exploring? Check. Gangs of enemies rushing at you with a mix of ranged attacks and up close stabs? Check. A mini boss NPC called the Shinobi Hunter whose Achilles heel is retraining your brain so that you charge into his attacks in order to open up a weakness. All of that is right here. Going back to this place and cakewalking it once you've mastered Sekiro is a feeling like none other. But boy did you have to go through trial and error hell first. Number 5. Uncharted 4: A Thief's End, No Escape. Uncharted's action scenes always go from wow, this is incredible, I love every second of this, to oh, I just got shot out of nowhere and there was nothing I could do in a heartbeat. Each death is punctuated by a pathetic ragdolling Nathan Drake and the useless fart of a death sound effect, while you sit there feeling like the game just threw a weak old banana skin straight at your face while you were trying to have a lovely time. No, it's not because I've been replaying Uncharted 3, I always thought this. Thankfully, Naughty Dog made things much more tolerable in Uncharted 4, mainly by including auto-aim. But then we got to this pirate ship escape sequence and the enemies had laser focus from across the map all over again. In the climactic scene when you're supposed to be saving Brother Sam, soldiers will attack Nate from all angles, killing him in seconds as any cover that you find will be shot away. There's literally nothing you can do other than realize you screwed yourself moments prior, reload and hope that you get better next time. Once you get past this bit, you're in for some bullet sponge near invincible juggernaut enemies who are never fun to fight in anything ever. Seriously, for as much as Uncharted wants to give you this swashbuckling escapist fantasy, Naughty Dog sure like bringing that crashing down at a moment's notice. Number 4. God of War 2018: The Jotunheim Tower. One hell of a game to play on harder difficulties, to the point where even the first encounter with the Draugr is nigh on impossible. God of War's standard difficulty still loves to put you through the ringer every few hours. There are many examples, but I'm picking the Jotunheim Tower. A tight area in relative darkness where the camera loves to get stuck on various parts of the scenery, you're up against waves of enemies piling in from multiple entrances, and boss Svartalfar will just pile in as well. You can absolutely get in a rhythm with this section, but it's so easy to get overwhelmed as well. For the game to become a blur of button presses, camera swoops, Atreus calling out upcoming attacks, and you just trying to manage everything on screen. Number 3. Bloodborne: Central YARHNAM. One of the biggest generational debates we will always have is Bloodborne or Dark Souls. Where the latter continued the rolling ball from Demon Souls, Bloodborne is many people's favorite just because it's so meticulously balanced and presented. Right from the get-go, you're essentially playing a brutal entry exam. Bloodborne's Central YARHNAM stretch is the longest part in the game without a checkpoint, and also sees the most individual enemies all crammed into such a tight space. Either you're gonna dodge roll with what's being presented, learning on the job and overcoming, or you'll get repeatedly sheared to ribbons by the angry mob, likely swearing FromSoft off forever. Even if you do get through this, you still have to fight the hulking cleric beast. All of this on one checkpoint, unless you happen to deviate off the beaten path and find another to catch your breath. Number 2. Borderlands 3: SLAUGHTERSTAR 3000. Some of the hardest levels in gaming are optional. The Circles of Slaughter are 3 missions in Borderlands 3, and you can even complete them post-credits if you don't want to do them at the time. The rewards for completing these arenas are high, but at the cost of a grueling gaming experience. SLAUGHTERSTAR 3000 involves fighting waves of Malawan dickheads, their words, before fighting 2 more bosses. Even on lower difficulties, this is a challenge for the most seasoned of Borderlands players. The main criticism is that the level feels way too long, with each attempt lasting hours at a time. Running out of ammo is a constant factor, and that's critical to a game based on shooting everything that moves. Enemies will take much more punishment than usual, and they are ruthless, able to take you down in one hit. Like most wave-based levels, failure means starting from the beginning. And if there's one thing that always makes me freak out and quit, it's the cold, hard realization that I'm gonna have to do all of this all over again. And number 1, Mountain Knot City: Death Stranding. Sometimes challenge doesn't come in the form of synapse testing bosses, but sheer perseverance. In Death Stranding's case, you already had a game centered on lugging packages to and fro, with various geometric obstacles and enemies in your way. So what if you made the very act of movement a total slog? Think Red Dead Redemption 2's campfire speed. Add invisible enemies, far off waypoints, and both item and stamina degradation. Congratulations, you have Death Stranding's late game mountain section. Honestly, I love what Death Stranding is going for in terms of reconnecting a disparate society who's lost faith in human interaction, but manifesting that struggle by making the game a literal chore to just control felt like a step too far. And those are my picks for various recent video game levels that just made tons of us give up instead. Let me know your favourites down in the comments below, and please check out the WhatCulture Gaming Podcast. For now, I've been Scott from WhatCulture.com, and I'll catch you soon.